After a brief respite in his room, Zhang Yi removes his coat and settles onto the sofa while Zhou Core gently washes his feet. Their conversation turns to the shifting power dynamics in the neighborhood. Zhou reports that Chen Lingyu, the 38-year-old entrepreneur who now runs Building 9 with ruthless efficiency, has reached out to Zhang Yi to act as an intermediary for a proposed collaboration with the manager of Building 25. Zhang Yi acknowledges Chen's impressive control. Her micro-business empire has limited casualties to only 10, but scoffs at the idea of any meaningful exchange, questioning what the other residents could possibly offer her. Zhou adds that Chen's background in pyramid-style schemes makes her adept at manipulation, prompting Zhang Yi to label her heartless. While Zhou gives Zhang Yi a brief foot massage, the latter scrolls through his overflowing WeChat list and notices 2 new friend requests arriving simultaneously at 10:30 a.m., one from Chen Lingyu, president of the Furong Group and manager of Unit 9, and another from Li Jian, finance director representing the residents of Building 18. Recognizing Li Jian from a corporate event, Zhang Yi accepts both requests at once, hoping their messages will reveal the strategic moves of the other 29 buildings. Chen immediately demands a voice call. Li Jian offers a collaborative proposal on behalf of Building 18. Zhang Yi curtly declines the call, insisting on text communication only, and warns that he has little patience for unnecessary chatter. He opens Chen's chat first, intent on extracting the core purpose of her outreach while keeping a watchful eye on Li Jian's intentions, aware that any misstep could provoke the other buildings against him. Zhang Yi's phone buzzed with a message from Chen Lingyu, the manager of Building 9, who paced the frigid room in a layered coat and foxfur scarf, trying to appear composed despite her fear of his reputation. She reminded him of his snowmobiles and offered the manpower of 76 residents, pleading that a simple food supply would keep her unit loyal and neutral, and that together they could dominate the frozen neighborhood. Zhang Yi, unimpressed, replied with a terse voice note declaring no interest, then watched Chen's anxiety rise as she begged for food to avoid becoming his enemy. Chen, sensing his test, shifted to a thinly veiled threat, insisting that if Zhang Yi refused, Building 9 would join the other 29 structures in an assault on his stronghold, Building 25. She argued that his snowmobile made him the only one capable of scavenging the buried supplies, and that a modest exchange food for safety would prevent a larger conflict. Zhang Yi's icy tone hinted at murderous intent, yet he merely promised to consider the proposal before closing the chat, his mind already calculating the odds of a coordinated uprising. Alone in his safe house, whose aerospace-grade alloy shell could endure artillery, Zhang Yi weighed the scenario. He noted that the neighboring residents lacked power, tools, and the physical stamina to breach his fortified position, especially in the extreme cold and starvation. While the prospect of a united front was unsettling, he concluded that without high-powered appliances or the ability to demolish walls, their threat remained theoretical. He placed his phone on his lap, contemplating whether to exploit the offer or continue his solitary dominance over the frozen complex. Zhang Yi is faced with a difficult decision in Chapter 96, as he considers whether to kill all the residents of the other 29 buildings who pose a threat to him. He thinks about the feasibility of such a plan, taking into account the extreme cold and food scarcity, and decides that it would be too time-consuming and resource-intensive. Instead, he begins to explore alternative options, including cooperation with other buildings. Li Jian, the CFO of a large corporation and manager of Building 18, reaches out to Zhang Yi with a proposal for cooperation, emphasizing the importance of a harmonious community and offering manpower and resources in exchange for food supplies. Zhang Yi is impressed by Li Jian's emotional intelligence and management skills, but remains skeptical about the feasibility of a long-term cooperation plan in the face of external threats. As Zhang Yi weighs his options, he receives similar proposals from other building leaders, but is unimpressed by their limited offerings. He is torn between the options of war or peace, considering the potential consequences of killing all the residents of the other buildings versus finding a way to coexist peacefully. Zhang Yi's thoughts are consumed by the moral implications of his decision, and he is unsure of which path to take. He thinks about the potential psychological trauma of killing so many people, and the burden it would place on his conscience. Ultimately, Zhang Yi decides that slaughtering the entire complex is not a viable option, and he must find a way to navigate the complex web of alliances and rivalries in the frozen complex. Zhang Yi's conversation with Li Jian is a pivotal moment in the chapter, as it highlights the different approaches that the two men take to survival in the post-apocalyptic world. Li Jian's emphasis on cooperation and community is contrasted with Zhang Yi's more individualistic approach, and the two men's differing values and priorities are revealed. Zhang Yi is impressed by Li Jian's ability to unite the residents of Building 18 and create a sense of community, but he is also aware of the potential vulnerabilities of such an approach. As Zhang Yi considers Li Jian's proposal, he is forced to confront his own values and priorities, and to think about what kind of person he wants to be in this new world. The chapter ends with Zhang Yi still undecided, but with a deeper understanding of the complexities and challenges of survival in the frozen complex. The frozen complex is a harsh and unforgiving environment, where the rules of the old world no longer apply. Zhang Yi and the other survivors must navigate this new reality, where resources are scarce and the threat of violence is ever present. The chapter highlights the difficulties of survival in such an environment, and the moral compromises that must be made in order to stay alive. Zhang Yi's decision will have far-reaching consequences, not just for himself, but for the entire community of survivors. As he weighs his options, he must consider the potential impact on the people around him, and the kind of world he wants to create in this new reality. The chapter ends on a note of uncertainty, as Zhang Yi struggles to make a decision that will determine the course of his future, and the future of the frozen complex.